Welcome to the Health Coach Nation podcast. I'm your host, Hailey Rowe, and I help you get clients consistently, market your standout offers, build your business foundations like your messaging, your niche, your offer, and I help you build a sustainable, profitable coaching business that works with your schedule. And I'm so excited to dive into the show. Here we go. Guess what? I'm so excited to announce that my free private training sharing how to book paying clients consistently without posting more or needing a big audience is now live for an encore. You can check it out at haileyrowe.com/training. You get to learn more about the inner circle. You get to learn the behind the scenes of what I share with my clients and learn how you can get your next clients without needing to obsess with stressful launches, annoying tech, all that kind of stuff. So check it out and can't wait to hear how it goes for you.
Hello, we're going to talk about websites today because this is a hot topic among coaches. So if you're a coach and you already have a website, go ahead and put a 1 or a 2 in the comments below so I know someone's watching and somebody already has a website. Actually, let me rephrase that. Let's put a 1 if you have a website. Let's put a 2 if you don't have a website. So 1 means no website, 2 means you have a website. And if you want to even put your website in the comments, go for it and I'll check it out. I would love to see it. But we're going to talk about what to think about when you're trying to decide if you need a website and when's the right time to get a website and all of that stuff. So if you're new here, I'm Hailey. I'm a business and marketing coach for health and life coaches and mindset coaches, and I help them book clients online. I help them get their business foundations down. So what is your program? Who is your niche? How do you consistently post content online that people want to engage with and, find clients who want to work with you? So that's the kind of stuff I do, but I also have a done for you team. And one of the things we've done for clients is landing pages and websites. And what I see a lot of coaches coming to me with is they get a website before they really know who they are as a brand and what they offer and what works for their business. Meaning they've never actually booked a lot of clients, they've never had a lot of proof of concept yet they think they need a website right away as the first step. And even though you think, having a website is the first step, I think that you can actually book high ticket clients without having a website, get a couple clients in the door, get clear on what is, the proof of concept, what works, what language speaks and resonates with your audience, what caused them to buy. And then you have the copy and you understand your niche and you're more ready for a website. Because what you don't want to do is get a website first thing and then have to change everything when you actually learn what works and what gets conversions and that kind of thing. So I made a big mistake when I first started of getting a website, thinking I knew what my audience wanted, and then finding out actually it was different, my messaging needed to be different, the structure of my program needed to be different, and then having to change everything on my website that I already spent thousands of dollars on. And I also hired the wrong people back in the day. My first group of people who did my website, they disappeared for a couple weeks. It was a whole problem. And then I couldn't manage my website because they made it on something I didn't know how to manage. So when you're going into getting a website, there's a couple things you want to consider. Number 1, start with minimum viable products. So before you hire somebody to make a big website for you, I suggest you actually start with a calendar link for booking discovery calls and a simple Google Doc that has in order what you'd want on a homepage of a website, but you can use that with people who you connect with before you have a website and just something simple. And you could design that, you could put images on it, you could put testimonials on it, and it could be your thing that you use for now organically before you have a full website. So that's the first thing. That's one thing you can consider before you need to invest in a website. A lot of the things I try to do in coaching with my clients is save them from expensive mistakes. So that's something that we sometimes start with. And once you have that, then you can kind of think, okay, if I'm going to get a CRM system, meaning if I'm going to start to try to gather email addresses, you do need something where people can opt into your email list. So a lot of email marketing sites where you can collect a list and email your list have ways you can make a landing page or an opt-in page. And that would be the first step up from just having a Google Doc and not having anything and maybe your calendar link. So that would be the second step. Maybe you get MailChimp, maybe you get lead pages, maybe you get something I use called Kartra, and it's very, very much more elaborate. I don't think you need that starting out, but that way you can have a link now that you can put in your bio and things like that, where people can opt into your email list. But also on that landing page, you can put, the benefits of your lead magnet and promote your lead magnet or whatever. So that's like a next step up. But then when you're like, okay, I have a lead magnet, I have my calendar page, I have a Google Doc that I've been using to communicate what I do and, the benefits and all my testimonials, and you've seen it work, meaning you've seen some people interested, you start to know the language of your ideal clients, you've maybe booked a client or two, then you can start to be like, okay, I think I want a nicer website now. I think I want to have something that establishes my credibility, that, has my bio, that has all my testimonials hosted in one place, et cetera, and probably promotes on the homepage a call with you if you're a high ticket coach doing one-on-one coaching or a small group program that's high ticket, and maybe your lead magnet, and that's it. You don't want to have 12 million different things on your homepage that's like 12 million different offers, all this detail, because you're going to lose people. Confused people, you lose. If you confuse people, you lose them, right? So that's the order I would go in. And then when it's finally time to get a website, you got to decide what you're looking for and your criteria. So what I mean by that is you generally want to have a homepage that has, right above the fold, before I have to even scroll anywhere, what you do, so I know within 2 seconds how you can help me, and think about your viewer looking at the website. So what do they want? What's their dream outcome? Make sure that's right at the top of your website. And then a book a call button, and then maybe some, benefits of booking that call with you, and then maybe some testimonials, and then an about you short section if you want to have that, and then like a little lead magnet option or something on your homepage. That would generally be what I start with. Then if you want to have a full site, you can have, your own about page, your own package page, where I wouldn't suggest that you list out everything about your package, but I would list out the benefits. I would list what makes it unique. I would have some testimonials, all that kind of stuff. And then you might have like a blog page if you have a blog, or if you have a podcast or something like that, but you don't even need that if you don't have that. And you might have like a media page if you've been featured on podcasts and stuff like that. I'm actually getting revisions on my website because mine's super outdated. My testimonials are old, etc. But it just goes to show you I haven't needed that to rely on to be growing my business. It's kind of been like in the back of my mind, like, I got to update my website, And so I'm doing that now, and I'm excited to have it done and be able to use it. But in the meantime, I've been using my landing pages that I've had. I've been promoting my freebies. I've still been using my own Google Doc to summarize my programs. Like, it's okay to not have it going. So you don't need this. This is not a necessity. Does it help? Yes. Does it make things more convenient? Yes. Does it help you start to rank in Google SEO? Yeah. So that's another benefit you got to think about. Is SEO one of your strategies that you want to have in your business? And if so, then yeah, it might make sense to have a website sitting there with new content going on it, that kind of thing. So once you think about, okay, here's what I want for my website, I suggest before working with a web designer, you actually put it in a Google Doc, the order you want, the copy you want, and work with a coach, aka me, or yourself, and get clear about the order, the copy, what you want. Because if you expect the web designer, you can hire a web designer who has copywriting skills and who can do all of that for you, but it's going to be hefty pricing wise, right? So get it clear first how you want it, and each page how you want it. And that's a wonderful way to communicate with your web designer, because if you hire a web designer and you expect them to know everything about you and be able to read your mind, you're going to be disappointed. So you have to, if it were me, that's what I did the second time around with my website. When I was not a new kid on the block anymore, I put it how I wanted it. I explained, I used examples. I said, here's my branding I like, here's sites I like, here's the order I want, here's a copy I want, here's how I want this to look. I want it to be a drop down, like everything, right? And then it was flawless because I was like, oh yay, they get it, right? But when I expected them to read my mind, it didn't work out so well, right? So that's the other thing. And then you also want to keep in mind, when you are communicating with your web designer and hiring a web designer, that you put it on something you'll be able to edit later if you want. So in other words, don't use something they host and then you have to keep paying them to maintain it. I would definitely have your own like WordPress or your own Squarespace or your own Wix or whatever, and maybe ask them and make sure that they're not using a plugin or something that you won't know how to edit later. So most of the time there's tutorials for whichever plugin they use to make your website, but you just want to make sure it's one that you're going to be able to look up on YouTube and manage. So make sure you go over with them, like what do you use to design the site? Will I be able to edit it when it's done? Will all this be in my name and my control afterwards, so I don't have to keep paying a maintenance fee or anything like that? And sometimes you want to pay, like you probably want somebody to upkeep your website, but for the most part, you can probably make plugin updates yourself and all that stuff if you're having a lot of like plugins on your website and fancy features and stuff that you have to keep updated. So this might be over your head if you don't know a lot about tech. So if you have questions, you can ask me, you can reach out. But what I want to save you from is, getting a website, spending thousands of dollars on it, being disappointed, having to redo it again, not having it in your control, not knowing, feeling like you don't understand anything. That is like the worst nightmare as a coach, right? So don't do that. And if you have questions, talk to me. But that's what I suggest, to have a site initially. And I would love to check out your sites if you already have one. And I can't wait to share my new site with you once my updates are finally done. New testimonials on there, some new copy based on what has changed in my business since when I first started the site versus now, all that good stuff. So stay tuned, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to this podcast. And if it's really helpful for you, I'd really appreciate if you share it and or leave a written podcast review. This tells the podcast sites that our show is useful, and it will be promoted to more people that way. Thanks again.